What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. I've been looking forward to this one, to be honest. The rumble in the jungle, the thriller in Manila. It's got nothing on this. It's the showdown. Super Kev in the building. How are you, bruv?
Curtis, I'm good, thank you. I've been looking forward to this one. It's taken a bit of time for me to get on, but here we go. The gloves are off.
Gloves are off. Bare knuckle ting,
Bare knuckle ting on the cobbles, bruv. Come on.
Got man in the comments saying Kev's going to brook the neck and all them
Brook
things.
the neck, bruv. You know how this one works.
You know how this one is, man. St. Anne's, Brixton, we're all in here, people. Big up everyone in the chat. Yeah, man. This is what I'm saying. The new kit came out, man. I said, nah, I ain't going nowhere near. I had to get the old Sega thing out, man.
Nice
you know
one,
what I mean?
nice one.
We'll toured at Old Trafford and that.
You know it.
How you been anyway, Kev? I don't think I've had you on for... It was before the Villarreal game, I think.
Yeah, it was before the Villarreal game. I've been good. Obviously, we're going to discuss things that happened and the way it happened, etc. And I'm sure you're going to have a case for or against, and I'm going to have the case for or against. But we're gonna chop it up now. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's it, man. Listen, I always say no matter what people's opinions, and you can have different opinions, we all want the best for Arsenal at the end of the day.
100%.
That's all that matters.
We do. Look, it's our club, and with what's gone on, obviously there's a lot more to discuss regarding the ownership and the demonstrations and protests and all that kind of thing, and what happens on the pitch. This is for us, really, it's the most important, isn't it?
Yeah.
What happens on the pitch. So the club's disjointed right now, guys.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Villarreal game, because obviously that was the biggest game of the season, and that was the one that we felt like could rescue the season.
Is it Villarreal games or game?
I would say games.
I would say games too. I'd say games too. Yeah.
I would say both. So let's start with the first one.
Yeah.
And I like having you on as well, because obviously you work with La Liga as well, so you've got, a better understanding of Villarreal.
Yeah.
What did you make of that first game? Aubameyang was on the bench, Lacazette was out. He goes Smith Rowe in the false nine. What did you make of it?
Yeah. Obviously, it was something that they've worked on in training. And because Smith Rowe is a link player, that's the only reason I could think of him playing there, that he wants to keep possession of the ball. He needs a number 9 or a false 9, as it were, to link the play and keep the ball. Now, in training, it's different in training, Curtis, than a game. Exactly. We know that it's different. And the fact of the matter is, the gamble didn't work. It did not work on the night. So you hold your hands up and you say, do you know what? It never worked. But one thing that I will say is Arsenal could have been out of the tie by half time, Curtis. Because it's a semi-final. The players have to perform. Fair enough. Going forward as an entity, it was disjointed. It weren't right. But our defending, we were all over the place. For the first half. And let's be honest, I was pretty happy only to be 2-0 down, because we could have been further behind in the first half. And I'm there, probably like you, Curtis, looking and I'm thinking, what is going on? You know what I mean? What is going on here? So, again, we get that, is it the manager? Yes, the manager made a mistake 100% by trying to play Smith Rowe false 9. Hold hands up, he made a mistake. But the players still have to perform. Come on, you still got to be able to defend. You still got to be able to control a game if you can. But we couldn't do anything. And only until the second half, when Ceballos got sent off. and here's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
They played to expose Ceballos in that midfield. Because if you watch, the lad who was at Spurs, Foyth,
4-foot right back, yeah.
You have never seen him do that to anybody.
No.
Yet, when he was picking the ball up, he recognized it was Ceballos. He was going for it because he knows Ceballos doesn't have the legs on the recovery, Curtis. And this is high-level football now. And if you can expose one weakness in Arsenal, we don't take on Partey because we know Partey couldn't get about the pitch. It's Ceballos. Ceballos is the one we have to expose. And they did. As soon as he went off, Curtis, did you see the level of the team move up? We saw the level move up. We saw Arsenal starting to take a bit of control. And we got a lifeline in the penalty.
Would you not say, you said this, Ceballos. In that week, Ceballos did an interview saying he felt his game suited Spain more than England. A report also came out saying that Arsenal have got no intention of signing him on a permanent. I think everyone said this year, Partey and Xhaka has been our strongest midfield pivot. Why then play Granit Xhaka at left back against that Chukwueze who's quick and dangerous? When you saw Saka at left back the other day, he got man of the match. And I'm thinking, why not just drop Saka in at left back? So he's played Smith Rowe false 9, Ceballos centre mid, and Granit Xhaka left back. Surely they are 3 big mistakes from the manager in that game.
Well, you could look at Granit Xhaka had played the previous, I think, was 2 or 3 games at left back.
Yeah,
and he'd done okay. So maybe because if you look at the fullbacks, we sometimes struggle with quality from fullback positions. And if you've got a team who are not good at fullback with the ball, that's a team who's struggling. He played Xhaka there because he wanted to control the game. Argue all I like. I prefer Xhaka in midfield. I don't like him at left back, Curtis.
No.
I don't like him at left back. But he played him there. He played him there because he's thinking, right, I want to be able to control this game. We didn't control the game because we started so poorly. We were awful. So it's easy to say, yeah, it was a mistake. But the 3 previous games, he'd done okay there. 2 or 3 previous games, Xhaka done okay there. But I wouldn't have had him there. I would have had Cedric there. But I'm not manager. So, again, Ceballos, at times, Ceballos could look decent. But when a team actually focuses on exposing one of your midfield, no. We got exposed, and we got exposed big time.
Big time. Like
we
you
got
said,
exposed big time.
I came away from that, even at 2-0, I'm thinking, if we get out of here with 2-0 now, we've done all right. They were battering us. So, I mean, so do you think the team selection was wrong in that sense? Then?
Yeah, the team, and again, Arteta got it wrong on the night. You can get it wrong. Sometimes you get it wrong. But you know what? They came away at 2-1. You're thinking, do you know what? At the end of the day, that ain't a bad result considering we should have been out of the tie, Curtis. We should have been out. And we could talk about Saka playing fullback. But if Saka plays fullback, maybe we don't get that penalty. Do you understand what I mean?
Penalty, yeah.
So it's a bit of a lifeline as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, Arteta got it wrong on the night. But we salvaged something out of the game. Right. So you look at it and we say, right, they've got a few suspensions, they've got injuries. We've got to turn up at the Emirates because now we've got a second lease of life. It's up to us to turn up now.
Yeah. So we're back in London now. We're back
in London. We lost 2-1.
We're back in London. 2-1. Aubameyang's back.
He didn't start because
he wasn't fully.
He wasn't fully, and he probably still isn't fully there.
No.
But in the second leg back in London, he's going to start because we're going for it, 100%.
We're going for it. So again, second leg. Xhaka gets injured in the warm-up. So Kieran Tierney comes in. So Does that tell us that Xhaka was going to play at left back probably again then?
Yeah, you can. Here's the thing: you can take it two ways. It was either he was going to play left back, which is fine, which we've seen him play there before, or it was they were going to change the position actually on the night in the team, just to dumbfound Unai Emery. Because Unai Emery, as we see, he likes to look at your team and he looks at the weaknesses. He exposed Ceballos in the first game. He would probably look at Granit Xhaka and say, right, what we're going to do is we're going to get plenty of ball out to Chukwueze. Because we know Arsenal have to go for it. So we're going to get plenty of ball to Chukwueze, and Chukwueze's going to be our runner for the night. He's going to expose Xhaka's lack of speed. So maybe Arteta was going to alter it in game. So he might have looked like he was starting that way and put Xhaka beside Partey in the midfield. God, we needed it on the night, but it never happened.
You were saying earlier there about needing to have quality at fullback. But with him taking... It's crazy because Granit Xhaka's a player I don't even think should be a regular, but the situation we're in, he is important in our team at the moment. Did he do too much damage, though, by taking him out of midfield and putting him at left back? Because as you said, Ceballos in that first game, and in the second game, we kind of played Partey in midfield by himself with two number 10s. I thought that was wild as well. What did you think about them tactics?
Yeah, look, for me, I think the fact that Granit Xhaka couldn't play, and I don't particularly rate Granit Xhaka as a partner fully for Partey anyway. He's been good at times, but he doesn't get around the pitch enough for me.
Yeah.
So I look at that, but he is Thomas Partey's best partner right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I totally agree with you, and I think that's the base that we need to stick from. Yeah, that's the base I need to stick from. The fact of the matter is, he brought Kieran Tierney back, who he wasn't fit. Something's happened with Cedric.
Yeah, like what's that all about?
Something's happened after that game against Slavia Prague at home.
Yeah.
Something must have gone on in the dressing room because Cedric hasn't had a kick since.
Don't make sense.
Well, it makes sense because the reason why he hasn't had a kick because something must have been said in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Something's gone on, and now Cedric is getting splinters. That's what he is. He's getting splinters. So Tierney comes back, half fit Kieran Tierney, but at least Kieran Tierney can deal a bit better with Chukwueze.
Yeah.
Our problem then is Xhaka gets injured, and this is a problem for Arsenal because we don't have the players.
Yeah.
So what does he do? Fair enough. He goes a bit more offensive with two number 10s.
Yeah.
Partey's in the midfield on his own, really. But you know what, Curtis? I still don't think Arsenal gave it their all. As a team, we're at home. We need to win the game 1-0. We never put them under any real pressure. We could have scored. Aubameyang could have got a couple. And that's him playing half fit. And yeah, with the bounce of a ball, the ball might have hit the post and gone in or whatever. But we haven't been good enough, Curtis.
No.
That's not good enough. They come to the Emirates. If they come away with a win, I want to see blood. I want to see blood. I want to see war out there. But and I know the protests and all that were going on, which was great. But the team have to go for it. The team have to show they want it. The team have to show, listen, do you know what? If they're coming out of there, they're getting wet, bruv. You know what I mean? They're getting some wet. They're getting wet. They're bleeding.
Yeah.
I think we went out with a whimper. And you can blame the manager. Of course you can
Which I
blame the
will.
manager. Of course you can blame the manager, because at the end of the day, on the manager's head be it.
Yeah.
But as a player, Curtis, when you get on the pitch and you've got a chance to go to the final, Man United's waiting there, and you know you've beaten Man United before. Listen, man, they have to get some licks out there, bro. Seriously, they have to get some licks. But it's not in us, Curtis. Unfortunately, it's not in us. And, it gets made that Unai Emery was, did he do a job on Arsenal? No, Arsenal never turned up in 2 legs. But with even under the previous manager, Unai Emery, when we were in the final, we never turned up in the second half. So the vein runs true. And I hate it, Curtis. I absolutely hate it. But we're not good. We're not good enough. And by that, I mean, it's not that we're not talented, but you know as well as I do, Curtis, you've crossed that white line.
Yeah.
When you go on that pitch, you have to have that and you have to have that. Sometimes it's not about your talent. It's about, can I roll them up and am I ready to go to war? They weren't ready to go to war.
Yeah. No, listen, one thing I can definitely say is these players aren't about that life either. They've proved it. What? There's 10 minutes to go in the game. Aubameyang hits the post. Header, unlucky. We didn't really have many clear-cut chances in the game anyway, just half chances. He hits the post and the screen shows Lacazette's shirt. I'm like, right, here we go. Throw the kitchen sink at it. No tactics now. Just get that ball in the box. And I see Aubameyang coming off and I'm like, okay, well, listen, I won't say what I said at the time.
You're frustrated.
I'm going crazy, Kev.
Yeah, you're frustrated.
I was shouting down the place. I say, look, I know the man's had malaria. He's not 100%. It's 10 minutes. Squeeze 10 minutes out of him. If that ball's going to fall to anyone, I want it to be him. He's taking him off. What are you thinking at the time when he drags Aubameyang?
I'm thinking what you're thinking. I'm thinking, listen, we haven't laid a glove on them all night. Really.
The neck, man, yo.
Listen, the last 10 minutes, I want to see blood, Curtis. I want to see blood and thunder. Fair enough, for 80 minutes it wasn't there. But I want to see everything get chucked at these guys. And Aubameyang's coming off. But you remember, Martinelli's on, Lacazette's on, Pepe's on. So there's weapons on there. But I want my key striker.
I want the biggest weapon.
I want my key striker on the pitch. If I have to take a defender off, come off.
Yeah.
Come off. I'm going for it. But at the end of the day, Curtis, we weren't good enough, man. We weren't good enough. The manager wasn't good enough, and the players weren't good enough. Everybody carries that can. And in the end, the manager carries the can. But again, as a football club and as a group of players, as a management team, group of players, it's not good enough, mate. Not good enough. And we weren't good enough.
Anthony said here, Kev, he said, thanks for the super chat, by the way. He said, you played for us under the legendary George Graham. You know what a proper manager is all about. Arteta is a straight imposter. You must know this.
Listen, here's what I will say. We have seen Arteta get a tune out of these guys. So that for me, that's important that he can get a tune out of them. We know there's been stuff going on the inside of the football club, etc., that we're not party to, right? And like I said, there's something's gone on with, players on the inside, getting the dead wood out, all that kind of thing. And yeah, he is learning on the job. I'll never say he's not. He is learning on the job. But one thing I do know is when you're in a semi-final and you're at home and you need to win the game 1-0, their other team have to get some work, man. You forget the manager, because the manager can only influence so much from the sideline. When you're on the pitch, it's up to you. And we never turned up, Curtis. We weren't good enough. So, I feel terrible as a fan that the team never turned up. But am I surprised? No, I'm not.
I couldn't get the picture up, but there was an interview that Matthew Upson did about Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that when you're in a great team and things are going well, he was talking about Pep and how Pep's able to use this false nine and, you know, work with no striker and this, that, the other. He's like, when you've got great players and confidence is high, you can do things, you can experiment because you're so good and players are more adaptable. He said that the Europa League semi-final was the time for stability for Arsenal. And he said that he felt like Arteta experimented with things like Xhaka. He'd had a couple of good games, but we knew Chukwueze was a danger man for them.
Big time.
You know, Smith Rowe up front, he's never played up front for Arsenal in the first team. Do you think he got it wrong in that sense, in that he should have picked a more stable team, play Partey next to a midfielder, play somebody more natural at fullback?
I've said it. I would have played. I wouldn't want Xhaka anywhere near fullback.
Against Chukwueze as well.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want him anywhere near fullback in the first place. For me, you stick to your strong points, and the strongest point in our team is Partey with Xhaka at this present time. So that would have been my base, the foundation of the team. Cedric would have played left back. Yeah, I understand Tierney. Tierney's not fit at that time. And you listen, the stability is he's an international fullback. Let him play in his position.
Yeah.
But something's gone on. I don't know what's gone on behind closed doors. But Cedric hasn't kicked a ball in anger since.
No.
So something's gone on after that Slavia Prague one where maybe he should have cleared the ball, got caught. And, you know, people have said to me, why do the players keep making the same mistakes? Why do they keep making the same mistakes, Curtis? Yeah. Why don't the manager do something? The moment the manager does something and says, right, you drop, he's damned if he does and he's damned if he don't. Because when he does something about it and drops the guy, people then say, well, you know, you should play him there because Xhaka's not a left back. He can't win. He can't win. The key to it is this. And all this overcoach nonsense. Nobody overcoaches. I've never heard so much nonsense in all my life. Ilias. You know what I mean? All this overcoaching nonsense. When you're a player, you take in the information you want to take in. Yeah. You know that, Curtis.
Yeah.
So the manager could say to you, Curtis, right, whenever both fullbacks get it, I want you running the channels both sides. You know as well as I do, Curtis. There's only so much of that you can do.
Exactly.
So you take on board what you need to, but the fact of the matter is, if you're a fullback, if you're a midfielder, if you're a defender, you know your jobs. And maybe Arteta did take a risk. He did, and it failed miserably in the first game. Yes, it did. But you know what? We were still there with a shout. And as a club and as a team, as a management team, we just weren't good enough. We weren't over two legs. We weren't good enough.
So disappointing because...
Signa.
I look at that Villarreal team over them two games. I thought first half in their home leg, they were moving the ball well. Yeah. Apart from that, I was not impressed with them. They came to a second game. They just sat in. Chukwueze came off injured after 25 minutes. And they barely tested the goalkeeper all game.
And the goalkeeper was all over the place.
That one shot and he's spilling it between his legs.
He was all over But again, they're going to get some wet. Trust me. They have to get some work, Curtis. They have to get some work.
I think United will slap them lot up in the final.
Listen, if United don't, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
Seriously
because
wrong.
Our problem is this. When it comes to the big stage, great that we've done it in the FA Cup domestically, but when it comes to the big stage, Europe, the boys didn't have it. We didn't have it. And we could argue whether the manager's good enough, not good enough. The bottom line is when the team goes on the pitch, the team has to perform. And we just haven't been good enough over 2 legs.
Big up Anthony again with a super chat. He said, managers live and die by results, ultimately have to fall on the sword if they can't motivate their players to consistently turn up. No excuses. Look, for me, I don't like the players getting away with it because for me, they bottled that semi-final. But at the same time, I think a manager's job is prepare that team the best you can, which I'm sure they train, fine. But then pick the team that gives that team the best opportunity of winning. Xhaka is not a left back. Smith Rowe is not a striker. Ceballos is a massive weak link. He's been poor this season. I don't think Madrid will keep him, and we're not going to keep him. So for me, he's putting square pegs in round holes in such a big 2-legged game.
Yeah, listen, maybe he's overfought the game first leg. He's overfought it. Maybe he has. And made some fundamental mistakes. As I say, in training against opposition, that ain't the opposition. Smith Rowe probably linked up quite nice and he says, you know what? Yeah, we can go with that. Obviously, on the night, it's not the same. You're playing against different opposition with a different mentality. The ball bounces differently when you could prepare all you like.
Yeah.
Once you start the game, you have to be able to adjust. You have to.
Yeah.
We couldn't adjust. Why? Because what they were doing, they were targeting Ceballos in the midfield. They were targeting him. And we couldn't cope. We didn't turn up as a team. Defensively, we were all over the place. Conceding that second goal especially summed it up. And if it weren't for a great save by Leno, it would have been 3-0. And we would have been out. But he produced a great save. We got the penalty. We're in with a chance. And the team at home was probably a lot more like it. Curtis, it was a lot more like it. We had Aubameyang through the middle. We had a defense. The goalkeeper defense were there. Tierney was back, although he was, 40, 50% fit maximum. Chukwueze went off. As soon as Chukwueze goes off, you've got to start turning the heat up on them.
Yeah.
Turn it up on them. Our problem, we never really turned up. We couldn't really get a grip of that midfield like how we would like to. But here's the other problem you see, Curtis. Even with Xhaka in the midfield, we haven't got goals in our midfield. So we need someone who, and that's probably why he went Partey with 2 number 10s. Because you've got to have people who can try to hurt them away from the front boys. You need someone who can try and hurt them. But the fact of the matter is, we weren't good enough. We weren't good enough. We left it down to a half-fit Aubameyang. Unfortunately, not good enough.
Nah. And even that Partey by himself, I mean, at times, he was just by himself with their 2 midfielders running.
With their 2 midfielders, and he's got 2 jobs to do. Sometimes you see, Curtis, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Because if he plays El Neni, for instance, beside Thomas Partey, everyone's going to say, why do you play El Neni? It's defensive. So when you go offensive, you play 1 sitter and 2 more offensive players. We should have been going for it. We should have been pressing them high. I don't know why we didn't. And this is what I can guarantee you. Mikel Arteta prepared them a lot better than what we saw. But the fact of the matter is, we ain't good enough. Talent, we have the talent. But do you know what? A wise man at Arsenal once said to me, put your talent to the side. Do you have it here and do you have it here? If you have it here and here, then bring your talent to the table. Because if you haven't got that or you haven't got that or both, your talent's not going to matter. And that's what we are right now. We're talented, but we haven't got the fundamentals of a roll your sleeves up and let's get dirty. Let's wet this team to pieces. It's not in us.
It's not in us. Kev, this season, 14 games here where we haven't won at home this season, and just 4 goals. With the likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette, Saka, Pepe, all this attacking talent, why are we not scoring goals? Why, even under Wenger, I always used to say Wenger, he neglects the defense, the midfield's wide open, but we always scored goals. Even under Emery, we scored goals. Aubameyang wins the golden. Where have the goals disappeared to, in your opinion?
We just haven't been playing with any cohesion. We haven't really played with a threat for most of the season. We've seen Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, Saka miss some horrible chances. And let's have it right. This run of games is a sackable offence. Isn't it?
Hey, clip it.
This run of games
is
a sackable offence. Of course it is. But where we are as a football club, whether we like it or not, everyone, I don't even want to look at that, Curtis.
Let me take it off.
I don't even want to look at that because that's painful to see.
Let me get it off.
And that is a sackable offence. Of course it is. I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Of course you're not.
But the fact of the matter is, Curtis, we are a club, whether we like it or not, we are a club, and we are in transition.
Yeah.
We have the talent, Curtis. We have the talent. So is it the manager not getting the talent to play, or is it the talent not playing to their ability? Yeah. Because let's be honest, if the talent played to par, we win half of those games.
All day.
Burnley at home, we beat Burnley. Remember, Aubameyang scored their goal.
Yeah, flick on, own goal.
Got battered by Aston Villa at home, 3-0. Some of these games, no. If the team do par, normal, halfway, we win half of them games. But our problem is we are so fragile as a team. Again, it's that and that. When Arsenal are weak, teams come to the Emirates and go, all right then, Arsenal, let's see what you got. And we can't handle it, Curtis. Unfortunately, and it kills me to say it, we cannot handle it. And that has to change.
100%.
It has to change because a lot of money's been spent in the last 10 years at Arsenal. A lot of money, right? We're 5th in the spending league in the last 10 years. And you're telling me we haven't got players in our team who can roll their sleeves up and play with that. That's why the last 5 years we've had no Champions League. It's not rocket science. Why? Because we're not good enough. And now the chickens have come home to roost, unfortunately.
Big time.
The fact Arteta is a novice and he's learning on the job, 100%. I said that run of games is a sackable offence. Yeah, it is normally.
Clip it.
It is normally. It is.
Yeah, of course it is.
But the fact of the matter is Arteta was brought in to change things. He was brought in to change things. And that's why I said previously, he is going nowhere. Arsenal are not going to get any big name manager, because if they were going to get a big name manager would have came in before Unai Emery took the job.
Yeah.
Unai Emery was experienced. He done okay. But even his tenure went sour. So the experience still can't get us over the line, Curtis.
Let me just read this out quick. Big up Anthony with a super chat. He said, how is it acceptable for a manager to be 18 months into a job, not know his best 11, always changing lineups? That's an indictment of his ability.
I think he does know his best 11. The problem is his best 11 either has never really been fit, or the players haven't performed. Because let's be brutally honest here, Curtis. If you add 8 more goals from Aubameyang, Saka, and Pepe, where do you reckon we'd be in the league?
Do you know what? I was looking before I came on. We're 9 points off 4th. So them 8 goals could put us 4th, possibly.
So let's just say it gives us an extra 5 points. Stick 5 points on what we've got now. We're right in the mix. And that's the small margins, Curtis. And we've had a horrendous season. You showed me that list that sends chills down my spine, mate. Which shocking. Is shocking, disgraceful. And fans ain't happy. Of course you're not going to be happy. I'm not happy. But the margins are so small. You add another 5 points. Aubameyang's normally on 20 odd goals. But you share the goals. You share 8 goals. 1 win and 2 draws. And we're up there. That's the difference. And the mindset changes.
Fine margins, though, isn't it,
It's
Kev,
so fine. It is so fine. I'm telling you, it really is. A win here, a draw there, a draw there.
Kev, you played for successful Arsenal teams under a top manager as well. To me, successful teams have stability, particularly in the right areas. I know someone's saying there is a different season, so much football, managers are having to rotate. But surely places like centre-back, Gabriel gets player of the month 3 months in a row. He's looking like, we finally got a quality young centre-back. Towards the end of the season, he's not playing the biggest games. Pepe has a few good games, then comes out and, Xhaka and Partey looks like it's the only midfield that works, but then you're pulling him out, putting Ceballos in. Have we not had enough stability in this team this season for the players to really build and progress?
Well, the problem with Gabriel was he got COVID, didn't he? He got
COVID
for
a few weeks.
He got COVID. He was out for a few weeks. And Curtis, I'll be honest with you. When you come back from COVID, he might not. His sports science might have checked him out. He maybe wasn't the same. Fitness-wise, etc. Maybe he wasn't the same. And when you lose momentum as a footballer, as a striker, when you're doing your thing, you want to play every game because you're on a roll. The moment you don't play a couple of games or you're out for an extended period, you've lost momentum. Gabriel lost momentum. He is our best centre-back at the moment. Of course he is. But the fact of the matter is he lost his way a little bit, and you could see he's lost his way in certain games. And Pablo Mari, I thought him and Holding done okay a lot of the time they were put together. So that's probably why Arteta went with them, because they have an understanding. Again, but the bottom line is our players, and I will mention Saka in this as well at times. Saka's carried the club for me. Him and Smith Rowe have been outstanding. Martinelli chucked him whenever he's played, has still looked good. But we've had opportunities to bury teams. Burnley away and all that. Wolves away. We never took the chances. And if you don't take your chances, Curtis, the opposition are going to come back at you. Yeah. And that's been the story of our season, unfortunately. That has been the story of our season. And what would I do? Listen, all the dead wood gone. Absolutely out of the football club. Because they've proven in a final and a semi-final, they've proved differently in the FA Cup, but that's domestic. Happy to win it, by the way. Don't get me wrong. Happy to win it, 100%. But our problem has always been our consistency in the league over the last 5 years. And we've shown up that we can't show up enough.
That's it.
So what do? I clear the decks. I absolutely clear the decks. And you know what the first thing I do, Curtis? I get players in who are rough and tumble and happy to put their foot in. Because if you haven't got that to start as a basis, you might as well forget it.
That's it.
You might as well forget it.
They've got to run through brick walls for this guy, man. Jermaine with a super chat said, could not disagree with Kevin more, sadly. I'm very frustrated with the players getting all the blame. Arteta is poor. Lost to the guy that we fired. Let me just ask you an overall question before you respond to that, Kevin. Mm-hmm. You say the board won't get rid of him. I think we all know they're going to.
He's going nowhere. He's going nowhere.
Would you get rid of him if you was in charge?
No, I wouldn't. And I will tell you why.
Go on.
Arsenal already, this is, what is it? The fourth manager in 3 years?
If you include
three and a half.
Freddie, yeah.
No, so it's the fourth manager. So you've had Wenger, no Champions League at the end. Emery, no Champions League. You've had Freddie and you've had Arteta. Arteta comes in at the end of this.
Yeah.
Let's look at this. All the COVID then starts hitting. So all the league starts getting disjointed. We weren't great. Then we came back. We got the season going. We ended up winning a trophy. Brilliant. Great. Big tick in the box, Curtis.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the league. That wasn't the consistency, because the consistency in the league was still up and down. So for the first time in how many years, he recognizes we need a centre-back and we need a centre midfielder. So he goes out and he gets them. Yeah, there's the centre-back done great when he started. But as a team, we've never been the same. We've seen flashes at times, but we've never been the same. He's got a lot of shit to get out of the club. He's got a lot of business to do not only in the transfer market, but there's a lot of players at Arsenal Football Club that are not fit to wear the badge, Curtis. Let's be straight. The fact of the matter is, the decks need to be cleared. But you couldn't clear the decks with a player earning 350 grand a week. You couldn't clear the decks with players in the dressing room who had a clique in the dressing room that was undermining the managers, because that's the reason why Emery got sacked. It was the dressing room, because the clique in the dressing room got him the sack. So Arsenal are not going to go out, as much as people say, if we were going to go and get a big-time manager, it would have happened before Emery came. It's not happening. People talk about, we should get some more. They're not coming to Arsenal because Arsenal do not have the money to back their reputation up. They do not have the money, because if you're a so-called top manager, if you're going to put your own reputation on the line, you're going to want significant transfer funds, right, Curtis?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Arsenal ain't doing it. They haven't got it.
Let me flip that back, right? So Everton, I know we've spoken about this before. Everton got Ancelotti.
Mm-hmm.
Everton spent less money than Arsenal in the summer transfer window, which means he's gone there obviously because they've given him a massive wage. They've given him a project long-term that he thinks he can build. If we can go out and spend 45 on Partey, 72 on Pepe, something like that, give Willian a massive contract. Clearly the club have money, but why is it there's no money for a top manager? Surely a top manager is one of the most important things where your money should be going.
But is it? Because we've spent a lot of money, and what have we got to show? We've got 5 years of no Champions League, Curtis. So at the moment, Arteta's the one who everybody's going to point the finger at. But this goes back. This goes way back. So the players haven't performed for the last 5 years. So something has to change. Something has to change. And if you keep doing the same things, Curtis, and expect a different result, they say you're crazy.
Yeah.
So the manager has to change something. And it has to change. Arsenal cannot survive doing things the way they've done it of late. And that's why it was always coming for this summer. Is going to be the big change, the big test. But here's the thing, Curtis. If Mikel Arteta, let's just say we got to the final and we won.
Yeah.
In his tenure as the manager, where would that put him?
Yeah, he would have done great.
No, not great. He would have been the best.
But he didn't do it, Kev.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
And that's the difference.
No, of course it's the difference. He didn't do it. He won one trophy, but if he would have won this one, he would have been the best. He's learning on the job, Curtis.
I wouldn't have called him the best, Kev.
No, Curtis, you wouldn't have called him the best, but the record don't lie.
Yeah, but
Arsenal, how many European trophies have Arsenal won?
I know what you're saying. I know.
But I'm just talking about the factual part of it. Yeah, we didn't get there. And you know what? We're gutted we didn't get there. But that would have been an argument. Can you imagine the argument for people who wanted him out?
Oh, yeah. They would have been coming for us hard as well.
But this is the thing, Curtis. Arsenal are not at the level yet to play consistently in the Premier League. We haven't been for 5 years. To even be where we should be, challenging right at the end, that hasn't happened for a long time. Do you know, under Emery, do you remember the games, the Crystal Palace game and the Brighton game at the Emirates? We lost to Crystal Palace and then we drew.
I was at that game, yeah.
Against Brighton.
Yeah.
That would have got us into the Champions League. But why did we fail? Because the players aren't good enough. Up here, they're not good enough.
Let me ask you this, right? Emery's season at Arsenal, the full season he had at Arsenal, at the end we failed, and I blame him partly. That Palace game, he changed the team. Zaha ripped us apart. He had a good season that year. Obviously, we know
decent season. It was a decent season.
It was a better season than what Arteta has produced in the league.
That's right, 100%.
You said there the players in the dressing room, the clicks, and they thought, you know what, the dressing room's gone. Emery's got to go.
Now, where it came from, Curtis.
Yeah.
When it really mattered, Curtis. When it really mattered, that's when you know if the dressing room is with you or against you. You got an experienced manager. Nobody could level that is inexperienced. You've got the team who really, you're playing Crystal Palace and Brighton at home. Curtis, come on. You're telling me you can't get 3 points against one of them? But we couldn't. Palace beat us. Brighton drew with us. And then we go to the final in Baku. And look what happened. It fell apart. And if you remember at the end of the game, he took Ozil off. And Ozil took his time. And that was the beginning of the end of...
So why is that not the players?
Of Emery. No, but that was the beginning of the end of Emery.
Oh, that's when it took a bit.
Yeah, because the players, listen, Ozil, they weren't having it. So the next season, this is where it started going pear-shaped. And it culminated in, again, I think it was Crystal Palace at the Emirates. Remember where he took Xhaka off?
And he had his
tantrum. And we finished 2-2. We should have won the game. The referee, VAR was against us. All of that. But that was the end. 5 captains. It turned to shit, Curtis. It turned to shit under Emery. And it just never worked out. Why? Because the dressing room clique got him the sack. And that's an experienced manager. So, therefore, who comes in has to sort that out, regardless. A big name manager isn't going to come in with no transfer budget to sort it out. He's going to need, right, I want 150, 200 million. This season, I want 150 million, 200 next season. It's not going to happen at Arsenal. That's why Arteta got called in. You
said earlier when we saw that picture of that run of games that we've lost, that you said that
offense, yeah.
You said that's a sackable offense.
Yeah.
But then you've said you wouldn't sack him. So why would you keep him if we're getting worse?
That's what I just explained. I'd keep him because we cannot keep doing the same things and expect a different result. You have to rip it up. You have to change players. Because these players, most of these players, have been at Arsenal Football Club for a number of years. And if we're honest, we are no further forward. They should be ingrained in what it's like to play for Arsenal Football Club. When you get into a semi-final, there's only so much a manager should be able to say to you, because you know what to do. We're all over the place. We're depending on our young players to pull us out the fire. And a football club like Arsenal, expecting 19 and 20-year-olds to pull you out the fire, Curtis, is a bad place for us to be. It is. So we've got to clear the decks, and this team and squad have to be shaped by the manager. And I'm not saying, Curtis, that Mikel Arteta is going to be a manager for the next 2-3 years. I don't know. If it starts bad next season, he might be gone by Christmas. But the fact of the matter is, the lifeblood and the attitude of this team has to change. It has to change. Because you know what? Fans are going to be in the stadium soon. Right? And
it'll get worse for him then.
Well, not only will Arteta get it, could you imagine players are playing like they have been? What's going to be happening? Not giving 100%, shirking out of challenges, not putting people under pressure at home. That was one of our strong points. So you could say, there's no fans. And it's the same for every team. It's the same for every team. You've got to motivate yourself.
Kev, I think we could all say, right, in terms of the league's your bread and butter, in it. That's where you're judged first of all. Since Arteta's come in, obviously last season he only had half a season, this season all of it. We've dropped lower than we were under the previous manager. If he's failing in that sense, what makes you think that he can turn it around? Because surely giving him more time, letting him sign more players is further damage into the rebuild.
Why is it? Why is it further damaging? Because the players at the moment are not doing it. So how is it further damaging? Because
then would you not say if he signs more players this summer and things don't turn around, you bring in another? Yeah, I meant in that sense.
But we're talking about hypothetical. So if we could go hypothetical, you can go hypothetical the other way. Things will change around. We need a right back, Curtis. We're desperate for a right back. One who can defend, who can get up and down that right-hand side of the pitch. A number one. How many players have played at right back this season? 3,
I know,
4?
But
4?
Again, is that not down to the manager to address, like, who's your number one right back?
Yeah, but it would have been a player like a Bellerin, but he's not played well enough. Here's the argument then, Curtis. You've said, would you leave it to him to move it forward? Because if it goes the wrong way, Here's the thing.
It's already going the wrong way.
Yeah, but just like I asked you before,
Go on.
if you just add 8 more goals, and you're telling me,
That sounds hypothetical, though, Kev.
No. Hold on. Because
Go
we're
on.
talking about what other managers have had
Yeah.
is Aubameyang scoring 20 plus goals. Arteta hasn't had that. If Aubameyang scores 20 plus goals a season, and I'm not saying Aubameyang's going to score all these 8. I'm saying, let's say he scores 4 and you share the other 4 around. The picture is different in the league. That's my point. My point is players need to come into Arsenal Football Club who are going to make us stronger, because nobody can tell me there ain't a lot of weak spots in our team. There are.
There's a lot.
Right. So, therefore, we've been crying out for a centre-back and a centre midfielder. He's brought them to the club. We're crying out for probably another centre-back. Saliba, I think, he's got to go straight in.
Oh, he's got to.
Him and Gabriel have to be, we've got to be looking at that. We need a right back. We need a centre midfielder. I reckon we need 8 to 10 players, Curtis. 8 to 10 players.
That's a big rebuild.
Well, no, but if you think about it, look at all the players we got out on loan, players who are in the squad but not going to do it. Remember, Kolasinac is coming back.
I hope not.
But again, all these guys, Bellerin, he's got to, all these players who have been regulars, who haven't been good enough, we've got to say, right, we've got to draw the line somewhere. And that's why I've done the analogy of 8 more goals. 8 more goals in this team. We're challenging for Champions League. 8 more goals.
Kev.
And in that list was a lot of games.
A lot of games. Kev, I had some notes here, right? And these are things that Arteta, just a few quick ones, just looking at the defense. You've got Leno in goal. There's reports coming out Leno maybe wants out.
See ya.
Well, but what I'm saying, we've let Emi Martinez go, and then
Doesn't
a year
matter.
later, Leno's saying he wants out.
Doesn't matter. You have got to do the thing when the time is there.
Would you sell him in the summer if he wants to go?
Arsenal need a top goalkeeper. Is Leno a top goalkeeper? I think he's good. I don't think he's a top goalkeeper.
Would a top goalkeeper come to us, though, in this current situation?
Well, this is what you have to make sure they come, because Arsenal's still a big draw. It's not called the Arsenal for nothing.
But we're not acting like it right now.
But this is why things have to change, Curtis. We haven't acted like a big club for 16 years. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Since moving. I was just looking, so the back four, we spent half a season with one left back. Obviously, Kolasinac goes out on loan. I don't rate him, but you look here and think, surely, that's a big risk. And Tierney was injury prone.
No, Cedric could play there. Cedric has played there.
But he didn't play him there at the end, did he?
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Something's gone on. We don't know what, but something definitely has gone on.
Do you think that Aubameyang and Arteta, because there's been little people saying, do you think there's a bit of bad vibes between them? Do you think he gets frustrated at constantly being substituted?
Well, the fact that he's had what he's had, and obviously what happened in the North London derby, might be some animosity there. But at the end of the day, Arsenal Football Club is bigger than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, mate. Arsenal Football Club is bigger than Aubameyang. Aubameyang's been a great striker for the club.
Yeah.
But he's not Arsenal. He's the captain. And he's supposed to lead by example, Curtis. And when you're the captain, there's no turning up late for the North London derby, because you leave the manager with little choice.
What do you think George Graham would have done if you turned up late for a North London derby?
You wouldn't. Curtis,
You're not
Curtis,
playing, are you?
Curtis, he'd send you home. He'd send you home. Because you're no good to him
Yeah.
being late. Do you know what I mean? You're no good to him.
No, it's a good point. I was looking before I came on. I was looking at your time at Arsenal. You left in '95. It said to go to Nottingham Forest. '94-'95 season. I believe that's the season George Graham left. And was it Stuart Houston came in?
Stuart Houston, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, that season was a tough season for Arsenal, and the manager changed in a lot. What was the dressing room like? What was the dynamics like when George Graham was leaving? Did you feel like the manager was leaving, and how did it change?
Obviously, everything changes. I mean, I was injured. I got injured in the Super Cup, and I was out for quite a long spell. But obviously, you're around it. The players are the same, and the players are going out there. The players know what to do. The players know what to do. Of course they do. They know what to do. They know how to play the game, etc. But Stuart obviously had ideas of, I think he brought John Hartson in. I think he brought Chris Kiwamia, John Helder, etc. He brought different players in. So new players came in, and it was a matter of everybody trying to gel together. And sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it works straight away. But it was the transition of that Arsenal squad, because it was the end of an era. It was the end of the George Graham era. So it was difficult.
Yeah. Was Bergkamp there when you was there?
No, he came the summer. Yeah, he came the summer with Bruce Rioch. He came.
Oh yeah, Bruce got him in. Yeah, no, it was just interesting because I noticed that, but yeah, because I just look at it now. You talk about the Arsenal, which we are, and with this big club, and I don't doubt that Mikel Arteta's got ideas, got passion, but to me, it's just not working, in my opinion. And I think we're getting worse. And 25 years we haven't been out of Europe. And it looks like we're on our way out of Europe now. I mean, unless mini miracle happens.
Something crazy happens. But here's one for you then, Curtis. Here's one for you. When's the last time Liverpool were out of Europe? When's the last time Chelsea were out of Europe?
Yeah, no, not too long ago, actually. Chelsea finished.
Exactly. And look at the investment Chelsea made.
But their owners.
No. There's no but.
There's a big but.
No, there's no but. There is no but. Chelsea have invested a lot more than Arsenal.
Yeah.
And they didn't qualify for Europe with a better squad. Liverpool didn't qualify for Europe under Klopp. It happens. Yes, it was. It was.
This first season.
First season. But again, what was happening? They were in transition. Chelsea needed to transition. Liverpool needed to transition. Why did that happen? For a reason. But you can only use it, Curtis, you can only use it as a positive if you get your summer right.
And do you trust this board to do that?
Well, they have to do something. They have to do something because, like I said, if you keep doing the same things, Curtis, and expect a different result, is the first sign of madness. Because Chelsea's squad, I think they were favourites for the league that season, and it went pear-shaped.
It was Mourinho with the physio that year, wasn't it, when it went mad?
Yeah, so, all of these things happen. And listen, if it could go pear-shaped with a super squad at Chelsea, it could go pear-shaped to Arsenal, especially when our main goal scorer doesn't turn up and we've got injuries and there's COVID and all that kind of thing. It's not excuses. It's just facts. And we're not the best. We're not the best team. We've proven that over the last 5 years. We're not the most consistent team. We're a cup team. On the day, we can beat anybody. That's what we are.
Big up Ethiopia Gunner. Apologies. He said I missed his super chat, man. The comments were flying in. Over 1,800 of you in here. Make sure you subscribe and smash a like. We're just throwing jabs, man. I mean, look, you was referring to Chelsea and Liverpool there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the two big differences there. Chelsea, Mourinho went, Conte came in, another great manager. They invested. They won the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then Liverpool had appointed Jurgen Klopp the season when they missed out on Europe. And obviously, I think they got to the Europa League final, lost. Following season, got top 4. Following season, Champions League final. They had. Do you not think the manager is that key component of any major rebuild?
So what I'm saying to you, Curtis, is this. Of course the manager is. But that's what the manager's brought in to do. He's brought in Liverpool Football Club, brought Jurgen Klopp in, not to do the same things that they've been already doing. He was brought in to change things.
Yeah.
He came in, they missed out on Europe. Don't you think the Liverpool fans were saying the same as Arsenal fans? We've been in Europe all this time and we've missed out. Don't you think they were saying the same things?
Oh, yeah, they would have been. They would have.
Right. So it happens. But the key is how you progress the football club. The same players, if we go into next season with the same players, the same things are going to happen. Correct? Correct, Curtis?
Yeah,
because it's the same players. So things have to change. So when games get tight, players roll the sleeve up and they could win a game 1-0 as opposed to drawing or losing the game. Sometimes that's all the difference is, Curtis. But it's got to start somewhere. And don't forget, when Jurgen Klopp went to Liverpool, for a squad of 22, 23 players, I think there's only 2 players at the football club that were there when he got there.
Yeah, he's cleared out the rubbish.
You've got to clear the decks because what he saw is not good enough.
What I would say to that though, Klopp in his first full season got top 4. He also implemented a style of play very quickly that they picked up on.
Curtis, Jurgen Klopp never qualified for Europe in his first season as Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
Right? Mikel Arteta in his first season won a trophy.
So what about the second season?
No, but this is what I'm going to get to.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Jurgen Klopp got to that summer. He knows now. He knows what he needs to change. So he starts bringing in his own players. It wasn't automatic, but you saw the progression of what he was doing. Okay? Here we are at Arsenal. It's a long shot for us to qualify for Europe. Arsenal now need to use it as a catalyst to get better. That's what they've got to do. They've got to use it. Because if the players were good enough, we'd be qualified for Europe already. But the problem is we're not good enough. And this is the battle. So you could say, oh, it's the manager, but we've had experienced managers who haven't done it. So is it the manager? The manager carries the can, 100% he carries the can. And if Mikel Arteta was sacked tomorrow and a new manager came in, there'd still be uproar because it wouldn't be the manager some wanted, or it wouldn't be this one, or it wouldn't be that one. But we've had 4 managers in the last 3 years, and they've never been consistent.
But in the league, he's been the worst of them.
Yeah, but it's still the same. We still haven't been consistent. And you haven't had players playing even to par. When you're not playing to, if you're a 20 goal a season striker, Curtis,
yeah,
and you score 5, you ain't even playing to par. Do you understand what I'm saying? You ain't even playing to par. If you're a 20 goal a season striker, if you get 10, 12, 15, okay. But really, 20 goals, 20 goals, 20 goals. You should be at 20 goals. And it's not as if our star striker hasn't had chances. He's had chances. But he's not taking them.
The thing is, if you spoke to the same way Arteta's saying no preseason, COVID, didn't get these players, Aubameyang could turn around and say, "You've played me wide. You've took me off. You
Scored
didn't
20
have
goals last season from wide."
But we were playing better last season, weren't we? We've been poor this season.
Curtis, he scored 20 goals playing on the left last season.
But we were using him right last year.
Curtis, he scored 20 goals playing on the left last season. Give me a striker who can play on the left, who can score 20-odd goals, who can make a difference in the team, who's been a shell of himself this season for whatever reason. Obviously, there's certain reasons gone on with his mom, etc. Who actually knows fully what the problems are, personally.
Yeah.
But when you're a striker who's due to score 20 goals and you don't, the team are gonna suffer. And we have suffered.
But surely our whole team cannot be based on how many goals Aubameyang scores.
Well,
where's Lacazette's goals? Where's
but that's why I said 8 more goals spread out.
Yeah.
Because if we're honest, there's been times Lacazette could have done better. He hasn't. What was it? Was it the Burnley game where Lacazette had a couple of great chances, didn't take them? Liverpool away, couple of great chances, didn't take them. Yeah, but I'm not digging people out. I'm just saying, if they play to par, just to level, we have an extra 8 goals, and an extra 8 goals gives us maybe 5 points. Give us 5 points extra. Put it on what we've got now. Look where we are, and we've had an horrendous season. But when players ain't playing to par, you're going to struggle, Curtis. If players play below themselves, we are going to struggle. We've relied on Saka so much this season. And he's a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid. It's not right.
I see that a few managers are coming out now saying they're leaving clubs. I think Zidane's leaving. They're saying Koeman could be gone. Obviously, there'll be movement in the manager market. If there was a big manager out there that said he would take it,
Curtis, I've already answered this question.
No, but you said they wouldn't take the job. But if one said he would take...
No. That's not what I said. That is not what I said. So let me reiterate it.
Go on, reiterate.
I said if Arsenal were going to go for a big name manager, they would have gone for the big name manager before Unai Emery took the job.
But maybe they weren't available at that time.
What are you talking about? They weren't available. Allegri was clear, free, etc. But what I'm saying is the mindset. If Arsenal were going to go for the big name manager, especially after Arsene Wenger, that was the time to do it. But they went and got Unai Emery. He impressed them in the meeting, etc. Yeah. And he done okay in the first season. Yes, I agree. He done okay. But the dressing room got him the sack. So this is something that, as fans, you cannot legislate for, the power of the dressing room.
Yeah.
So it's got to be sorted out, because if you let the dressing room control who manages the football club, you're in trouble.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Yeah, the players have to. I mean, the manager has to get a hold of them, but I just can't help but I almost think we need the big manager now more than then because we're worse now. We're further away. I remember when we came out the Champions League. I remember sitting there thinking, Thursday night Europa League. I was embarrassed. I was like, oh man. Now I'm looking at the Europa League like the Champions League. Like I missed the Europa League already. I want to hear that music. Like I can't even see the Champions League.
All in 5 years.
5 years, bro.
All in 5 years. So something has to change. The ownership. Listen.
No, the ownership.
No, but what I'm saying is, managers over the last 5 years have changed.
Yeah.
Nothing's happened. The only thing that hasn't happened differently is to clear the decks, Curtis. That's the only thing that hasn't happened. Wenger players coupled in with Emery players, then Arteta players, still not getting across. Why? Because the decks need to be cleared. It's a reset. It's a reset. We are not strong enough mentally or physically to carry out what the manager wants. We're not. And we could say it's maybe pre-season or this, that, the other. The bottom line is you got a semi-final, you're 2-1 down, you win the game 1-0, and we don't lay a glove on Villarreal.
I got a list here, Kev. Arteta has signed 9 players since he's been there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at that list thinking not many of these signings have worked under him, really. Like some of them are good players, but you'd sit here and go, you got Renarsson, Pablo Mari, Cedric, you got Gabriel, Willian. You know, why Thomas Partey obviously was the main signing. Why do you think a lot of these signings are not thriving under him? We're not seeing the Partey we saw at Atletico. Naturally, he doesn't have the quality around him. But even individually, you know, he's been inconsistent. He's getting injured a lot. Gabriel's been in and out the team.
But injuries you can't legislate for.
No, obviously not with the injuries.
As a team, we just haven't gelled for whatever reason. We've seen snapshots of Arsenal when we play well. And when we play well, we look good. But our problem is the consistency. Our consistency is all over the place. And this is no respect to Callum Chambers. But when Callum Chambers could come in Arsenal's football team and make a difference, this is a player who was nowhere near the Arsenal team. Let's be honest. When he could come in the team, and he's looked quite good in certain games, Curtis. But he's not even our best right back, so to speak.
No.
That tells you something's wrong with this squad. The squad needs changing. It needs changing. It does.
Yeah, badly. Callum Chambers, if you're watching, mate, you might want to cover your ears.
No, but listen, it's Callum Chambers was loaned out.
Yeah, twice.
Loaned out, right? Came in, how many years ago? 5-6 years ago? Came into the football club. Callum Chambers has never been a regular at Arsenal. And he never will, Curtis. I'm only stating the facts.
There's talk of him getting a new deal, 3-year contract.
Well, listen. Well, let's see. We will see. Let's see about that. We'll see, because all this talk stuff, I don't know. But I think this is a really important summer coming up. And the type of player that we recruit is going to be so important. So important. Because, again, on paper, Curtis, if the game was played on paper, we'll be all right, Arsenal.
Yeah, we would, to be fair.
But it's not played on paper. Players have to go out there and perform. And that's why I've seen some comments coming in about, it's the players with laughing faces. It is the players, whether you like it or not. Because you know what? The manager doesn't go out there. It's the players who have to perform. You tell me your team. Look at, everyone was talking about Thomas Tuchel. Oh, look at the great job he's doing. Leicester done him in on Saturday in the FA Cup. Where's all these people now?
But he has improved them though, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Kev?
When it matters, Curtis, when it matters, it's getting trophies, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the big games, you've got to win. He's a big manager. He's got a squad, 2 players in every position. He's got.
Yeah, they got a very good squad.
No, it's excellent. But again, it's about the players getting across the line. That's what has to happen. So I get all the players are laughing. Yeah, well, do you know what? Our players haven't done it. That's the bottom line. Our players haven't crossed that white line and done it for us. So yeah, the manager carries the can 100%. But our players who on paper have got the talent have not performed for us. Simple as that.
And I do agree with that. But I just think this manager has failed to move this club forward. And he's been here for 18 months. I think outside of that FA Cup win, I haven't seen enough from him to be convinced by him and give him more money and more time.
But you see, here's the beautiful thing, Curtis. The opinions of the fans don't matter. It's what's going on internally inside the club, that they have a plan that they're going to implement. Because if you go with the fans, you wouldn't be moving forward or you wouldn't be moving backwards. You'd be staying right where you are. Because some would say go left, some would go right, some would say go backwards, some would say go forward. This is just the way it is.
It's how it is.
Football clubs have to have their own internal plan. Arsenal haven't had a plan for years. Because really, we should be challenging for the league with the amount of money we've spent. And here we are falling away. Something's got to change.
It has. Kev, before we round up, I've had nearly an hour and a half. Big up everyone on it. Nearly 2,000 people in the chat. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's finish on a positive note. What do you want to see happen in the summer? How can Arsenal recover next season, in your opinion?
Mikel Arteta's got to get his recruitment right. One thing we do know, we ain't strong enough at the back. We're not strong enough in fullback positions. I think when Tierney's fit, of course he is. He's fine. If Tierney's out injured, we need a left-footed left back there for balance. We 100% need a right back. I think Cedric's fine at right back, but we need a number 1 right back.
Yeah.
That's what we need. Someone who's going to go up and down that right-hand side and be a threat attacking, but can defend. I think we've really struggled defensively at times in our fullback positions. Saliba's got to come in. We've got to give him a goal because he's been excellent in France. We've got to get that midfield right. I've said about Basuma coming in. I think that gives us a lot more athleticism in the center of the pitch. It gives us a lot more bite in the middle of the pitch, and it makes us more competitive in the middle of the pitch. Could we go for another striker? Could we go for another midfielder, attacking midfielder? Rumors, you've seen the rumors. Jack Grealish is being linked. Buendia, listen, if we can, we need a marquee signing, Curtis. Yeah. And you know what, Curtis? For all the protests, Kroenke out and all that, the fan base still want the owner to go and make this summer important. It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? But this is the way it is.
Yeah, it is.
This is the way it is. We want him out, get out of our club, all that kind of thing. Yeah, but I want you to go and buy Grealish. I want you to go and buy this one. I want you to go and buy... He ain't selling, Curtis.
No,
he's not selling.
You don't think he would sell now?
He's not selling. So let's hope and see whether he can convince us that he's not his heartstrings ain't tied to Arsenal.
No.
But this is your club. Put the money in and let's get us to a point where we should be.
Yeah.
This is the big summer. Because if it doesn't work this summer, Arteta's gone, and then it'll just be another one in.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, Kev, really appreciate you coming on, bro. Listen, we always do,
You've
but
been, listen,
you know,
you've
we
been throwing hooks and jabs at me, man. You've been throwing hooks and jabs. I've been dunking and diving. Now I've got to just drop the neck to
Kev, you know when you said that record's sackable, I thought this is it, mate. He's one little hook away and he's finished. And then you said, no, I wouldn't sack him. And I said,
I'll get my second win.
Take a block.
No, because listen, that run of games.
Yeah.
And you could clip this again. That run of games at Arsenal is sackable.
I'm clipping it.
But again, what you do, there's the bigger picture. The bigger picture is we are transitioning. We don't want it to happen. Nobody wants that run of games at Arsenal. And what is it? We nearly lost 5 games on the spin in that run of terrible performances at home. But until you change it, you can't expect more until you change it. So that's what he has to do. And listen, Arteta's neck is on the block now. It is on the block. We finished the season, and you know what? You know, normally Arsenal leave it right to the end, don't they? You know, leave it to the end and we cobble together. No, Arsenal got to go. They got to get moving in the transfer market. Get moving. Because we don't have time. Euros are coming, Curtis. Arsenal got to get moving.
Quick.
No messing around. Strengthen that squad. Let the fans think, you know what? All right. They're having a go. That's what we need.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. Listen, time will tell, innit? Time will tell. Let's hope.
Time is the master.
Time is the master. But listen, appreciate you coming on. Arsenal legend, good friend. I appreciate you giving up your time, Kev. It's a pleasure to have you on as always, man.
Thanks to everyone putting good and bad comments. I love it. I love it.
No, big up everyone in the chat. Nearly 2,000 people. Smash a like, subscribe. And I'll be back for the Palace game. In fact, I'll be back tomorrow and then the Palace game on Wednesday. Take care, Kev. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you.